as I'm approaching the tattoo and the entire process, I feel like the font needs to really tell the story, right? It's unlike other tattoos. There is no image that tells a story. So there is no eagle or panther or other tattoo imagery that you can kind of put together in your mind what's really going on. Whereas in the instance of, in the case of when I'm doing lettering, that is the image, that is the story in itself. So I like to use the font to really tell the story. And it's also going to dictate the feel of the tattoo when you first look at it. How by the aggressiveness of the font, by the angle of the font. There's a lot of different characteristics of the lettering, and although it's just a few uprights and different letters and different lines and things like that, man, that make this one cohesive design. But it's such a powerful image, just in one word. And you want the word to tell the story. If you're doing the word, say, aggressive or something, well, then you want the lettering to look a little more aggressive, because that is what tells the story. Again, is the font that you choose to dictate that. I think I'm a little jaded to the process now, because I've drawn so many thousands of letters over my career, and it really took me to have to slow down and really observe what I was doing, with my own hand, and try and stop it and really think, like, man, why am I doing that? Why am I doing it this way? I get it that I've done it a bunch of times, but why am I stopping that letter there? Why am I doing it this way? Why am I approaching it in this manner? And I didn't really know, and so after really looking at it and analyzing it, I think I see the whole thing kind of before it unravels. I'm not talking I'm on some like Chris Angel type of shit, or some other type of scenario where I'm looking into the future. But what I do see is, for sure, is the shape and of the area that needs to be filled in. And I do approach it as the same way I would approach another tattoo, an eagle, a panther, whatever the case may be. So with that being said, I kind of visualize the space that needs to be filled in. Let's say it's a rectangle, and that's generally why I put, like taking the word I'm doing of trucker here on the bottom, son of a trucker. So, taking that into consideration, there's some letters that don't go up high enough, and there's some letters that maybe don't have a lower ligature, a sender into the bottom of the word that I need to add some flourishes to. So I just kind of make it work, and then after it's all done, I take a look at it and think, okay, cool, where do I need to add some more to it? Where do I need to, because obviously I can't take it away, so I generally start off with, a little bit more, on the lighter side of things, and don't get too heavy with everything. And then if I go back into it and I see, okay, this part needs to be thicker, then I do so. But just, obviously keeping in mind that, once it's on there, it's on there. What allows me to tattoo with ease, and during this tattoo, this whole process was tremendously done with tremendous ease, all based on the product. You're only for the most part, you're only as good as the tools that you have available to you. And in this case, between the needles, between the machines, between the Formula 23, it just makes my job and everybody else's job so much easier, and I definitely took that into consideration when developing this product, and fine-tuning it to be applied as such. drawing on the flourishes and even adding on to the flourishes once you get that baseline established. I think it's important to not really overdo the flourishes as well. I mean, you know, it's like you have all this frosting and only a little bit of cake, you know, in the mix, and that always is one of the things that stand out to me immediately. Is like, you know, man, you got to know when enough is enough, you know, and just if you get to the point when you look at it and you think, man, I might have done a little too much, well then you probably did, you know. And so you need to really, that's when I think the drawing part of it comes in, you know, or the process that I usually enjoy the most of it is the drawing process. Really, I mean, the tattoo process is, you know, it's kind of whatever, you know, but the real fun to me is the drawing and watching everything come to life. The tattooing part obviously is something that I love and more than anything, but you know, I think for me the real fun of the whole process is just the drawing part, and you know, watching those flourishes kind of grow and going in one direction, you know. And I think another common problem that people have is they try and put all their things that they love about lettering into one tattoo, you know. And you should save that, you know. It's like, hey man, there's a lot of things I like, but I ration it, you know. Like I love steak, I love Greek yogurt, I love sushi, I love, you know, Frosted Flakes, but I don't put it on the same sandwich. I break it down and use it, you know, when the time comes, and where it's most beneficial to for the application. So I've been very fortunate to tattoo a lot of tattooers, and lettering for those tattooers is generally, at this point, that are guys that are heavily tattooed and only have a little bit of space left, and generally they're getting things that are important to them, you know, child's name, wife's name, dates of some sort. The unfortunate part of that is that I get the spots on the body that are probably the least desirable, or that are the shape of, you know, West Virginia. And I've got to fit in, you know, sometimes 2-3 names or whatever into this this thing, and you know, so to me, that's one of the challenging parts of doing lettering and tattooing on that type of a level. And you know, it's awesome. I love a challenge, and the way I approach that is, you know, obviously you can't make a stencil. Well, you could, but it would be a tremendous amount of work to try and squeeze in, you know, at a convention or whatever. So, you know, drawing it on, man, that's the only way you're really going to be able to get that to fit in there. And that's when you use those flourishes and use those other tricks that you've learned to kind of fill in some of the spaces. But just, you know, keep in mind not to let that part overpower and overtake the rest of the design. So one of the questions that I'm asked frequently is, what kind of gray wash do I use, or how do I break down my ink to achieve those gray tones? And I'm working on a new product right now with Intenze that takes all the guesswork out of it for you. It's an amazing product, and it's really going to change the way you approach all your grays and your lettering and your whole system. So basically, this is what it comes down to, is a good product, proper education, and the tools for the job. I hope you guys will watch this a couple times and pick up something that you missed the last time. It's like watching a movie over and over, and you see that thing and it just clicks that you missed it the first go around, or second go around, even the third. Or maybe you come back to it after doing a tattoo and trying some of these techniques that I've mentioned. But the proper education and tools for the job is the most important, in my opinion. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope it was insightful and really gave you guys a look into how I approach from start to finish, including the drawing process on a tattoo.